give me just a second here, and I am going to show you a little something I got. Let's see. Give me a second here, guys. I got something as a gift here, and I wanted to share it with you all because I'm kind of excited to get it opened up. So let me show you what I got. And this, I'll tell you, this was a gift from Lightwish because I just love them, you guys. And I wanted to share it with you because I think it's really cute. I haven't opened it yet, but I saw pictures. So let's just go ahead and open it. And then we will go ahead and maybe paint a little something here using it. So let's do it. This, by the way, well, let me show it to you first. So this is how it came wrapped, which I thought was really cool because I might get one of these for my grandkids. And I like that it came wrapped. So it's a perfect day to paint today because it is, hi Desi, raining out. Okay, look how cute it is. The first thing I do like about this is I can hold it in my hand. So I kind of like that. It's got some good little wells. This is all handmade, by the way. I mean, you can tell, right? Hi, Twigs. If you've been following me a while, you know I made my own palettes a while back, and I really was sad that my palette maker, my potter, decided not to do them with me anymore. So I was kind of excited about this. So this little palette, this is for water. I'm going to use that. And again, if you guys want to paint with me, I'm going to paint this. Hi, Michelle Wilson. Hi, Teresa. Yeah, I know. I popped on here. So we're going to paint this. If you want to grab some of your cold pressed paper, watercolor paper, and a round brush, we'll paint this. But like I said, I was kind of excited to see this. So again, this is a little palette I got. It is by Lightwish. I like it because I can hold it in my hand. It's a nice weight. I like small things. And then let's see what's in this. I don't even know. But this would be a really cute gift for my grandkids or to like an artist. I think they'd like it. Hi, Inger. Oh, brush rest. Very cool. So again, I like that these are handmade. I believe these come in different colors too. I noticed there was a blue one. This one has little yellow bits in it. So let's use it. Let me see, clean that out. So I'm going to pour some water in there. Where is my water? Let's see here. Just empty that in there. Could probably use a little more than that, but we'll work with that right now. And let's paint something, guys. It is totally, oh, my large palette over here, this one. Isn't that cool? It can only stay on my desk because it's rather heavy. And then one of you told me about putting it on a Lazy Susan, which was great. That one, I'll give you a link. It's the Meeden palette. Let me go back to my orders and find it. Well, I'll put it in there for you. Yeah, I love that palette. Okay, so little brush rest. I'm going to use for this painting my 8 round. Use whatever 8 round you have. And let's play. I'll also be using my Mylangs. I just finished teaching a private, so these are pretty nice and wet and activated. But if you are new to watercolors, make sure that you activate your paints before you start painting. There we go. So what I like about this set too is it would be really easy to bring with me because I bring my paints a lot of times with me. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I'll get that link for you. For some reason, my Amazon closed. Let's see if I can get it here. Boop, boop, boop. Well, I'll get it for you. Okay. Let's grab, I think I'll paint on a card. I've got a card sitting here. I've been making cards like crazy lately. And this one would be a pretty one. So the colors I'm going to use are going to be all of the reds. You know, choose what red you like. In my berries, I like adding just a touch of orange. Sap green, I think I mixed sap green and red and got this olive green. And then I've got some little pine needles in there. We'll do that too. All right. Okay, normally I might use a lid or something to draw a circle. Good morning, Josie. Good to see you. You know what? Let me get you the link, darn it. Hold on, guys. I should have been more prepared, I suppose, huh? Let me get that for you. It's so cute, isn't it? And I want to say it's about $40. So I will get that. Sorry, thanks for holding on, guys. I can't get in now, but I will definitely get that for you. I don't want to make you guys hold too long. I'll definitely make sure. Hi, Maria. Hi, Lori. Yeah, I'll get you the link for that. Okay. So let's see. The colors I want to use are going to be, you know what? I'm going to use the lighter orange and maybe this red. Ooh, that's kind of a pretty red, isn't it? Yeah, I'll use that one. This is my Paul Rubens My Lang palette, by the way. And you know I got to have my pink. There we go. And I'll put some cad yellow on there. There we go. I've got my big palette here too. And let's get those greens. My favorite green in here in the My Lang is that yellow green. It's so pretty. And just a touch of olive green there. There we go. You could also mix a really cool green with a sap green and a little bit of your red from the berries. That would be really pretty too. There we go. Hello, Agnes. Hello to Bavaria. Nice. Okay. So I've got my little water. And if I didn't mention, maybe I already mentioned this, it looks like they have, these are all handmade, which you can tell. They're, you know, not, they're perfectly imperfect, which I love. They're not absolutely perfect. And they do come in different colors. I saw a blue daisy one I really liked. All right, so what I think I'm going to do is to start on this, I'm going to start with some of my berries, and then I'll go around and add some of the greenery. That's just easier for me. I will say normally I kind of use like a lid or something to kind of draw, but we're going spontaneous here, guys. So let's start with some of our berries. Let me grab my little tiny brush too. I have totally, for the first time in my life, been into the tiny brushes. I know, it's kind of weird. So this is I think this is a 2. And let's start with our berries. This is a Stratford card, by the way. I've used these for years. I use them for all my cards all year long. So I'm going to mix a tiny bit of that pink and a tiny bit of the red. And I've got about 50-50 in here, 50 water, 50 pigment, because we can always go darker. And let's just start. I think I'm going to use my tinier brush, because I've really been kind of obsessed with this brush lately. And what I'm going to do first, let me see if I can kind of zoom in here so you guys, is that better? So I'm going to go around the edge of my berry first, leaving that white space. And then maybe another one right here. And then I'm rinsing my brush, and I'll just go up against that with a damp brush. Rinse my brush, I think right here. I'm just gonna go in with basically water and let that spread into another berry, maybe tap in a tiny bit. Look how pretty. Isn't that pretty? Okay, let's go to, I think I'll put another, I'm kind of going to go in a zigzag type design here. Hi, Pat. Where do you go to buy it? I'll get you my link. So sorry, for some reason I can't log into my Amazon. I'll get you a link for that large palette and for this palette. It's by Lightwish. All handmade, you guys, which I love. And let's draw another berry here. There we go. So going along the outer edge, leaving that little gap of white space. There we go. And then rinse my brush. Let me get a tissue here. Tap off my brush. Sometimes it's hard to realize how much water you have in your brush. Rinse my brush. I have a fascination too with like little things. So this is right up my alley. And there we go. You guys, let's even tap in just a tad of our yellow. Look at that. And it's going to kind of create this orange. How fun is that? 1 second, Pat. Let me try something here. Hold on, guys. Sorry. I want to try and get you that link. I feel really bad. I should have got that beforehand. Goodness. All right, guys. So sorry. Okay, so I'm kind of going in a zigzag, starting with the berries on here first. So that way I can just go in and add in my greenery around it. There we go. Another berry here. And I'm leaving that little bit of white space. Like that. I'm going to add more berries too. So now I just rinsed my brush, tap it off, and it's just a thirsty, damp brush. And I can smooth out some of those lines like that. There we go. And then we get those variations too. Okay, so now I am going to use my larger brush, my 8 round, and let's start adding in some leaves. There we go. I'm going to start with the lighter green. So let's get some of that. This palette is perfect. Isn't it cute? You know what, too, I'm actually really liking about this? It's substantial weight. The palettes I've had made in the past were really light, and I was always afraid I was going to break them because they were kind of thin. Okay, so let's go in and start adding in some leaves here. So point, press, got a leaf there. Let me grab. There we go. Dampen that off. Start creating some leaves coming out different angles. Point, press. There we go. I'm going to add in just a touch of green on the edge. point press. And I like doing my leaves so they kind of blend into the berry. I think that's kind of a cool look. Point press, point press. There we go. So we've got a couple berries there. And let's go over here, point press, point press. Just keep making those. Like that. And now at this point, I think I am going to go in and add some brown. So I'm going to use my brown here in my Mylang. Let's get that in there. Yeah, that's a perfect brown. I like that. Tap, tap, tap. Get some of that extra off. And let's just create little twigs for going around here. So very light pressure. And I'm going to even darken that up a bit more. I love Van Dyke Brown. And just start kind of freehanding in a circle, very light brush strokes. There we go. And now we can start adding in some leaves to that. So I'll go into my green. I'm going to add a little bit more green here. Grab some green. Yeah, I like that green. And let's start adding in some leaves. Point, press, point, press. And I try to leave a little sliver there of white. Point, press, point, press. And vary the size of your leaves. Point, press, point, press. You could even do one stroke leaves if you wanted. Point, press, meaning just like this, like that. You could do some like that as well, but look how fun that is. I'm going to add in just a touch of our olive green. Point, press, leaving a little sliver in there. On my leaves, the other thing I do a lot of times is point, press. I will make one side shorter than the other, just kind of my thing. Point, press. That one I added in a little touch of yellow. Point, press, just to give some interest there. Point, press, like that. Isn't that fun? Point, press. And so that little leaf I did there, you could easily do that. Just trying to keep my hand out of the way. Point, press. Like that could be your whole leaf. Point, press. Now I want to add in some different leaves as well. I wanted to add in maybe a few like pine needles. So let me get that in there. And we'll do some of that. There we go. So I'm going to start adding in these. Let me show you. So maybe, and then just light touch with the tip of your brush. Now, while that's wet, I want to go in there with some different greens. So let's pick up some of our olive green. Tap in. And, ooh, yeah, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Kind of gives you that different variations in color. Let's do another one. How about right here? We'll just, let's see. Let's have this one come out this way. Let me scoot this over a bit. And now just the tip of my brush, and I'm going to bring out those little pine needles and then maybe touch into the center. With some of the dark green, maybe even a little brown. Maybe up here too. Like that. There we go. Ah, so fun. Let's do another one over here. So I'm going to go in and pick up that green and create one right here. And just light touch. Just little wisps of color. Add in some of our dark green. So this is just a tad bit of wet and wet. There we go. Okay, I think I'm liking that so far. I want to create some more, maybe some little tiny berries here, but let's do a few more little leaves. Maybe one right here, point press, point press. And I try to vary my leaves a bit, size-wise, color-wise, if I can. There we go. Point press, leaving that white space. Point press. Maybe some lighter value ones, meaning more water, less pigment. Like that, and that makes it look like it's kind of receding in the background there. Point press. Add in a few more. I like wreaths all year long, to be quite honest. And then I think I'll add, I can get kind of carried away here with the leaves. By the way, you can, that link is on Amazon, by the way. Point press, point press. Now inside there, I want to add some darker value leaves. So what I mean by that is more paint, more pigment than water. So I'm going to go to my palette here. And I want a really dark, thicker consistency of the green. And I'm going to dab in a few. Like that. Maybe a few more here. Maybe I'll put one up there. And you can paint right over the leaves that you already have there. There we go. It just kind of draws the eye around. I feel like I need maybe one more thing over on this side. Let's go for our green here. Rinse my brush. So I really like this palette. I had not seen it before today. Point press, point press. Ooh, that's a pretty green too, isn't it? And now let's add in just some filler berries. So I'll go into that, about 50-50. And let's just add in a few here and there. Oh, there we go. Just make it simple. Just anywhere you feel like maybe needs a little pop of color. And I'm trying to make these just a little bit lighter even. Or smaller rather. Isn't that pretty? This would be really pretty too with some gold. There we go. So a little bit smaller. And gosh, I think I'm about done. I could go in and add in. And as soon as I get off, guys, I will go in and get that link for you. So sorry, I should have had that ready. I just got all excited to open here. And I'm going to go in and just add maybe like these, the wreath is branches and some squiggles like that. And there you go. I think I'm about done. Oh, you know what? I found my Amazon link. 1 second, guys. Let me grab it for you. Sheesh. Here we go. Give me 1 second. I got it here. Okay. There is the link. Oh, thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Sheila. That is the link for this cute little palette. And like I said, it comes all wrapped pretty nicely in this little water dish. It's all handmade, you guys. You can even see like kind of the thumb marks and even the little mixing palettes, a little wonky, which I love. And it does come in some other colors. So what I want to do with this last little touch, and then we are done, is let me grab, you know, I can't stand it. I got to add some bling in. So let me find my gold and let's just add in a splash of gold to that. Or we could even use the mirror series. I think that would be really pretty. Give it just an extra touch here. There we go. Oops, I had some yellow on my brush. There we go. I work with my MABs and metallics pretty thick. Okay. Oh yeah, look how pretty. And if you had nice writing, you can't see that so well, but it's really pretty. You could write in the middle like I did here. I wrote joy. Now, I'm not a big calligrapher, but you could do that. Let's just try that here if you want to see me give it a go. Let me get a thicker pen. Let's see. Here we go. So here I go, guys. Wish me luck. Not too bad. I could use a little thicker. There we go. And there you go. I could go in there and make that a little thickened up, but you get the point. All right, everybody, I hope that was fun for you. I love this little palette. It's, like I said, it's all handmade. It's really cool. I think you'll like it, and you get the little brush rest, and it comes in different colors. So I hope you give this one a try. It was a lot of fun. I'm kind of getting ready to finish up all of my holiday cards. I have a few more just Christmassy type things I want to share with you. And thank you, everybody, for being here with me and always being so patient with me. And I will see you all soon. Happy painting.